All right, it is time for one of my favorite concepts. So, if you've been working with me for a moment, you have heard me say this statement over and over and over again because this is one of those concepts that if you really get it together and you start to understand it, you'll get out of your own way. And who doesn't want to get out of their own way when it comes to accomplishing their goals? So we're going to break this down, principle and precedent, and I'm going to define them as far as their terms go and why they matter. And that's the entire video. So, knowing me, I'll probably talk for a long time and give plenty of examples, but this should be a rather short video overall. We're going to see how far we go down the rabbit hole. Okay, first and foremost, why is this even important? Well, turns out that you have goals and you have things that you would like to accomplish. And for some reason, you haven't been able to accomplish them yet. And I'm here to tell you why. This concept, principle over precedent, is getting out of your own way. If you have an operating manual that's outdated, I'm going to make a little book here. That is a terrible book here. But we'll at least add some lines to it. This is for entertainment value, if nothing else. All right. So we have this book, and it has all these rules. Here, that's something I can do. I can write the word rules that we've been operating off of. And let's say we've been operating off of these rules for a month, okay? Or let's say 3 years. Or let's say 3 decades. All right. Let's just pretend this is technology for a moment. Right now we're in this whole age of like AI and energetic sequences and new discoveries left and right? So things that were a month ago are starting to already be outdated. Things that were 3 years ago, if we want to bring up, the pandemic, then those are outdated. For sure, things that are 3 decades old are outdated. Well, your operating manual, as far as your brain goes, is the same way. So, what I'm trying to say is you got to throw out the book. And that's my version of a trash can. Don't know why, but we got to throw this away. And we got to introduce a new one if we want to achieve our goals. So, this is all about the performance mindset. And if you are part of the performance mindset program already, then you totally get this. You've heard me say this. And you're probably still hearing me say it because I will continue to say it until it sinks in. And that's how I operate. That's my manual. So let's get into it. Precedent. Precedent is all of the education, all of the experiences that you had in the past. Okay, so all the education, all the experiences. And these experiences could be from others, with others, or solo. This education could have been things that you taught yourself or learned in a school. But this is not a bad thing, right? It's not bad that we learn things. It's not bad that we experience things. That's the whole point of being human. Just have an exceptional life. I'll tell you one thing about me. I've had an exceptional life. And when I say exceptional life, I don't mean just good. I mean, I've had good, bad, ugly, beautiful, you name it. I've had some phenomenal experiences. So, my precedent has served me. It's been great. We're happy we have precedent because our precedent got us all the things that our life gave us. Here's a little beautiful gift up until this point. And we should be so happy for that. We should be extremely grateful for precedent. But here's the thing about precedent is while we are extremely grateful for all the education, all the experiences that we had, it's not going to get us any further. So here's a concept that Some of my clients are still, learning, and it's a controversial concept. But I always tell them that the outside world is dead. And I don't mean that the plants are dead. I don't mean that life is dead. I mean that it's dead in the sense that it's already served its purpose and it's time to move forward. Ooh, forward. One more time. Forward. Moving on. Moving forward. Which means we bless it and let it go. Sayonara, right? Thank you. So when we're doing that, we are releasing precedent. We're letting it go. Let go. Because it did its job, right? Like sometimes it's time to upgrade, right? You want the new phone, you want the new software, you want the new camera, right? It's all the same here. That's precedent. Precedent is the experiences, the education that we had that got us to the point that we are at. Whether we like it or not is up to you, whether you're happy about it, or it's a wonky face, there we go, or you're upset about it, doesn't matter. It still did its purpose. We can still be grateful. Yay! So, moving on, we have this other concept, and it is principle. Now, principle is the current, I mean today, I mean right now, I mean this video, moving on right now, our current mindset, choices, and attitude. We can even go a little bit further and say values and beliefs. I love my handwriting on these things. So, current. Current is the key word because current is not limited by the past and it's not limited by the future. This means that you can change this tomorrow, you could change it in 1 minute, you could change it whenever you please. Autonomy is yours. But for the moment, the current moment, you're living in this principle. Which means, in this current moment, if you're choosing to be a billionaire and feel like a billionaire and act like a billionaire and just become as you are a billionaire, then your mindset, your choices, your attitude, your values, and your beliefs will reflect that. Why is this important? Because that is going to get you where you want to go way faster than your past belief system, your past education, and your past experiences. Unless, of course, you've already been a billionaire and then you're just wanting to relive it. And, awesome. Like, that's your vibe. So, you get this. So, if you're going to switch your reality, you will need to switch from your old precedent to your new principle. Joe Dispenza does this in a whole different way. He says that your personality will change your reality. Okay? I'm I'm on board with that. I can vibe with that, but I don't think that's the only way to do it. I think that the beliefs and the values and the attitude can get you there as well, as long as it's aligned with your new principle. Now you're like, Air, if it's that easy, why are we not all doing it? I'll tell you why. Because, I love a good question. It's because, just like I mentioned, precedent is of the past. Your principle is current. And in this realm of reality that we've chosen to live on, aka planet Earth, and I'm going to make some land, maybe a little bit of blue for water. Love my art skills, they're so awesome. So that means us little fickle humans like to change our minds and our beliefs and our thoughts very often. Especially if you're like me and you're a Gemini, we're always changing our minds and our thoughts and our moods. So, all right, I love my Geminis. I love myself. Come on. So, with that, we need a little extra room now. We want to think about how do we take this new principle and make it our precedent. Cedent. I'm so thankful I already wrote it. So, precedent. Because a precedent is not bad. Remember, we love precedent. It got us where we want to go. And if we want to maintain that billionaire status, billion, then we need to stay in that precedent, which means we need to stay in that mindset. And the longer that you stay there, the more it will repeat. X, X, X. Actually, I should be smarter than this. Let's go. Let's make it green as well. Dollar sign, a dollar sign, a dollar sign. Glorious. So, you are probably wondering, okay, but there's one little fatal flaw here, and I'm going to help you out because even if you haven't thought about it, if you were to go and think about this later, it would come up in your mind. So, I'm going to beat you to the punch here because I've done this for a while. You're going to think, Air, well, like, just because something worked in the past doesn't mean that it's going to work now or the future. You want an example? I'll give you an example. Uh, Stock market, Tesla. Oh, gotta love Tesla. So I'm gonna step away from that landmine, but I'm just gonna say just because you did something in the past doesn't mean it's gonna work in the future. We've all been there, right? If not, we'd all be shooting 100% from the free throw line. So what I'm trying to say here is your feelings and values come from the quantum level of thinking when you're creating. And that is the infinite realm of possibility. So let's just say thoughts, which means you're not limited to one way of doing things. Your only job in this principal factor is to maintain the feeling slash openness to the principle over the precedent. And that, my glorious, glorious people, is the one rule when it comes to creation. Now, there's a formula, and if you're part of the performance mindset class, you're going to learn the formula and you need to act the formula, and there's 5 parts to it. And I tell people that they're always missing at least 2 parts, and that's why they're not going towards it. But nonetheless, there is a rule here in following the formula, and it is to feel, one more time for those in the back, to feel over think through life. And let's end on a beautiful note here. So, yeah, this ended up being a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but all good stuff, all valuable stuff. And if you are curious, again, I do all the coaching, I do all of the quantum realm of all of this, and I do it on the performance mindset programs. I've got three. I got one for money, I got one for love, I've got one for money, love, and health. Okay. And I really want to bring this one up because I do it with four different ways. This is what makes me different. Is you saw some quantum physics here. And we love quantum physics around here. But I also do it through Christian principles. And then I add neuroscience because that's my degrees. Neuro. I'm just going to hide from things here. Or shorten them, I should say. And then finally, spirituality. Because spirituality is reality. I meet people through combining all of these. And that is how we accomplish our goals here. That's why what I do works. That's why people keep coming back. And that's why I went and I collected this information over the last 17 years. Okay, I will see you on the next video.